Time now for the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
Welcome to the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge. This is your source for outdoor adventures in Vermont and New Hampshire. I'm your host, Joshua Smith, and today we're excited to have with us Chris Sanborn, the expert behind R&L Archery. He's joining us, and he'll go through Vermont's fall archery season, covering everything from preparing for deer hunting to selecting the right gear. Whether you're a seasoned hunter or new to archery, this episode is going to be packed with expert advice and insights. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And so this is exciting because you're not a stranger to a radio studio.
I am not a stranger to the radio studio or the previous Hunter's Edge versus the Outdoor Edge. I love this. I love this back.
See? Yeah, come on. We're bringing it. We're bringing it back. So we're bringing it back, Chris. And so, as we say, you're the co-owner of R&L Archery.
I am.
So before we started going live, we had tons of questions that we wrote down, and questions that we wanted to ask you about archery in general, and some questions about the hunting season that's in what differs between Vermont and New Hampshire. So without further ado, we'll jump right into it. Ask you a couple questions, and then we'll take a commercial break. And just so everybody knows, we do have a Mark Breen Fairbanks Museum hunting season specific weather forecast that we're gonna talk to late. We're gonna listen to later in the episode. But I guess we'll just jump right into it then, Chris, and ask. So how does Vermont's archery season differ from New Hampshire's in terms of, say, like regulation and hunting opportunities?
One of the big ones is the bag limits on it. In Vermont, we're very fortunate. We now have opportunity to buy up to 4 tags. And you can buy them as you go. You buy a tag, you fill it, you can buy a second tag, a third tag, a fourth tag, and just keep out there all season long. New Hampshire, a little different. You can get 2 tags as long as you buy them out front. If you purchase one and then you fill it, you can't go back and buy that second one. So it does change a little bit there.
Okay.
Season-wise, they're both real long seasons now, which I love. That's hunting all fall long till December 15th. Vermont closes for a couple weeks for rifle season, but other than that, we can bow hunt right almost till Christmas. So it's pretty cool.
And so, what are some of the key dates that you mentioned, and what are and rules that this fall's archery season that hunters need to be aware of?
So one of the big ones as far as the Vermont season goes, it is Vermont archery season basically runs from now until December 15th. Like I said, it does close. The archery season closes for rifle season. You can still hunt with a bow during rifle season, but you're hunting on your rifle tag under rifle rules. So no doe. It's bucks only, and that, so that's a big one that we get asked that a lot. Can you hunt with your bow year round? Absolutely. Or through the whole season? Yes, absolutely. But during the rifle season is rifle season rules only. Otherwise, the season's open. Let's keep that going. So
okay, all right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll talk about archery gear and some technology that's coming up soon. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
At R&L Archery, we know it's not just about the thrill of the hunt or the size of the fish. It's about the moments that matter most, the traditions passed down from one generation to the next, and the stories told by the fire long after the sun is set. It's about the journey, the memories, and the time spent together with friends and family, because these are the moments that truly last a lifetime. R&L Archery, where every adventure begins. Come create your story.
Hi, this is Jay Davis, co-founder of NortheastKingdomOnline.com. As Northern New England's leading digital marketing agency, we will help your business harness the power of SEO, social media, and beyond to enhance your online presence. Your customers are looking for you. Work with our team of marketers to build a complete online marketing strategy. Visit NortheastKingdomOnline.com to see how we can heighten your brand. Achieve more with NortheastKingdomOnline.com.
This is Bob McGee from Wild Vermont Customs. From mud to snow, water to road, power to pedal, our custom fabrication shop can make it look great. With paint, hydro dip, powder coat, media blast in your restoration project, metal artwork, or your hunting trophies. Come see what we can do for you. Gabe, what can we do for the hunting trophies?
We can dip Euro skulls, make custom plaques or mounts.
Wild Vermont Customs, East Redgate, Vermont. On the web at wildvt.com.
Check out our Facebook page for pictures.
And we are back. This is, as we mentioned before, this is the Outdoor Edge. And we have with us Chris Sanborn, who is the co-owner of R&L Archery in Barre. And before we took a break, we were talking about some of the archery seasons and how's it difference between New Hampshire and Vermont. But we did want to talk about archery gear and some of the new technology. And I remember before we started talking, before we went live, you're talking about how there's a few companies that it's just, they kind of hint at there's something new coming, but
there's always something new. As to what it is, well, we're still in the dark. They are this, as much as it's just so weird. Bow season just started. We got a long ways to go. And like Barre launched their 2025 archery line on the beginning of October. So, that's neat. We hadn't even just started hunting, and the new bows were coming out. Matthews is always a big one for us. Everybody's saying, what's Matthews coming out? What do they come out with? It is as much a secret to us as it is to you guys until launch day.
Right.
We literally walk out, UPS delivers me a box that has the new bow, and it's the same day that they show up on the internet. I do have the only insight they've given me so far is there are 4 new bow models coming from Matthews as far as flagship hunting bows, and that's it. That's all I know. So the pre-orders are in. I don't know what I ordered, but we'll find out mid-November when the rest of you guys find out as well. So we should have them the day they launch them on the internet. We should have them in the shop ready to try them out.
So this year, what are the most popular types of bows you see hunters using this season?
We're 50-50 between vertical bow and crossbow. In the vertical bow side of things, Matthews is always a big seller for us. We sell a lot of bear packages for people getting into it, looking to start off their journey in the archery experience without putting a huge money down, big investment in it. Trying to get into it, test the waters before you jump up to the top end stuff. So that stuff as far as the bows, and then crossbows have been huge for us, and huge for the industry, keeping people in it. And I mean, crossbows have gone crazy. The $300, $500, $800 crossbows are just the beginning now.
Wow.
We used to struggle to sell a $1,200 crossbow, and now they're sitting on the shelf at $4,500. So the innovation is there right now. That's where everything is changing, new technology every year. And we're looking forward to the new launch in those, which is usually closer to January, but kind of excited to see what they come with next.
So what were some of the new technologies that have surprised you over the last few years?
One of the big ones on the crossbow side of things that we really, really love is a couple of companies have come up with a safe way to decock the crossbow. Normally, you cock your crossbow, you go hunting. If you hunt like I do, you maybe fall asleep in the tree, wake up when it's dark, or didn't see any deer that night. So then you have to decock the bow, and the safest way for most of the bows is to shoot it. That's the easiest. It's the safest way to do that. Most of the wear and tear on crossbows comes from decocking the bow, because that's when you shoot it more than anything else. So 10 Point and Wicked Ridge have a couple of cocking systems that are designed not only to cock the bow back, but also to safely decock it. There are a couple other companies that say, yes, you can, but if that handle slips out of your hand, it ends up spinning around, dry firing your bow, and you may end up breaking your bow as well as your knuckles as that handle goes around. The innovations on the 10 Point and Wicked Ridge side of things have just been amazing. So no more having to worry about that. Decock the bow gently. When you get out in the morning, you just cock it back up, ready to go again. So that's been some of the biggest innovations on that size.
And so because we have listeners here that know everything about bow hunting, and we have some people who are curious about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what advice would you have for a beginner who's choosing their first bow?
The biggest thing I can tell anybody thinking about getting an archery, go to a store, talk to the people that work there, try a bow out. And it seems weird. I know you've never shot before. You don't know what to expect. They should help you get started with it, should help you get some shots in there. But more importantly, you can tell the difference. If having never shot before, we can put you in a bow, you can shoot it a half a dozen times, 3 different models, and instantly there'll be at least one you either love or you hate, but you can actually feel the difference there. And that's everything, because if the bow doesn't feel comfortable to you, you're not going to shoot it. And if you're not going to shoot it, it's a waste of your investment, and it's not going to keep you with the sport, which is ultimately what we all like to see.
And because you did mention too, also is that crossbows are now you can use crossbows anytime now.
In Vermont, crossbows are legal for anyone.
Okay.
So, there's if you're getting into archery, the biggest question we're going to ask is what's your intended use for it? What are you looking to do with it? Archery as a hobby is a vertical bow. Get a regular bow, go shoot it, have fun, whether it's a traditional bow or a compound bow. That's a hobby. If you're looking for archery as a tool to go bow hunting, that can be a vertical bow, but it can also be a crossbow. And in the crossbow side of things, I can take somebody who's never shot before. We put you on the shooting bench. You'll shoot 3 shots at 20 yards. The arrow's going to hit the same spot every single time. You're confident that you can be effective at 20 yards and go out and go hunting. If I give you a regular bow and we go over there and we shoot, you can still do pretty good, but it takes a while to get dialed in so that you're confident. And confidence that's half the game, is your confidence in your shot. So you go and you shoot it a few times and you head out in the trees and you're not really sure, you're not going to do so well. It's not going to be a great experience. So again, it's like I always like to say, like the compound bow, the traditional bow, that's a hobby. They're both tools for hunting, but the other one is not only the hunting tool, it's also a hobby, and it's something you need to practice. You need to do it. So,
right.
And that's to make it effective for you and for what you're going to do, and also for ethical hunting on the being ethical to the game you're hunting after.
Well, yeah, and it does bring up the point is, like, how can hunters improve their shooting accuracy before they start heading out into the field?
It's practice. It is all about practice and consistency. If you take a bow and you pull it back the same, you hold it the same, you squeeze the trigger the same, and you aim in the same spot, the arrow will hit the same spot every single time. It is that simple. So
right.
When you shoot and you hit high one time and low the next, that's practice. Nobody's perfect when they pick up a bow and start shooting. Practice. That is the biggest thing. You can never practice too much. And during this time of year, I'm guilty of it as well. We all kind of taper back our practice because we'd rather be sitting in a tree for a chance of taking some game as opposed to sitting in the backyard taking a few shots. But it's important to keep practice through this season too, because while we're sitting there not really doing anything, you're not working your bow muscles for a couple of months now.
Right. We're going to take another quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about how archery has kind of evolved due to there's some pop culture references that have been helping out the archery world.
At Red Clover Bikes in Fairleigh, Vermont, we know that a bike is more than just a ride. It's an extension of who you are. With financing available on top-tier Trek bicycles, e-bikes, and a team that's all about making biking accessible and fun, we help you make the most of the roads and the trails that make this little spot of heaven special. Whether you're looking to enhance your bike's performance or need expert advice on the latest cycling gear, we've got you covered. So come visit us in Fairleigh at Red Clover Bikes, where your adventure begins.
Mile Supply, your stop for all your general business products, paper towels, toilet paper, first aid kits, and more. Purchase your paper and soap products from Miles, and they'll install the dispensers for free. Do you own a salon, restaurant, coffee shop, or gym making a monthly run to the big box store for your business supplies? Save time with Mile Supply. Call today for a sales visit, 476-3963, or walk directly into their showroom, 143 Boynton Street next to Spalding High School. Mile Supply, family-owned and building relationships since 1954.
The Autosaver Group St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram asks, do your outdoor adventures take you to where you wish you had a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive? At St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, explore their vast inventory of adventure-savvy four-wheel drives and all-wheel drive vehicles ready for you to drive at home. Plus, every St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram deal includes the Big Deal Plus, which is a 2-year unlimited scheduled maintenance plan, which includes free state inspections for life. Stop in today in St. Johnsbury, Vermont,
or shop St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram online at stjohnsburycdjr.com.
All right, and we are back. This is, you are listening to The Outdoor Edge, and we have with us Chris Sanborn, who is the owner of R&L Archery in Barre, and we are talking all things archery. So before we're talking about archery gear and all the new technology that's available, and now it's almost as though that, you know, archery in the last several years has kind of had a renaissance.
It is so funny what it takes or doesn't take to just make people just start flocking back to archery, which is awesome. We love to see it grow. We welcome new people every day. And sometimes it's weird references like movies that bring you in. And the years of Hunger Games and the Avengers and Brave brought a whole bunch of people in that these were not hunters. They were not looking to do anything other than just shoot in their backyard. And especially a lot of women came in during the Brave years and the Hunger Game years. It just was explosive for the traditional side of archery, and adding so many new people to the sport. It was amazing. It was great.
Right, and we had on a couple weeks ago. We had Jeremy Whalen from the Vermont Fish and Game was working with the fisheries, and he pointed out that during 2020 there was like a huge influx of people getting fishing licenses. Now, did you see something similar during COVID as well?
Oh, absolutely. COVID was for my industry, for the things that we do, was amazing. They told us not to go in places with lots of people, and I guess, to a degree, stay inside, but not stay inside with lots of people. So go outdoors and do things by yourself. And that's hunting right there. That's fishing right there. And it was just, everybody was out in the woods. And it was a great time just to get all those people into the sport. And a lot of them are still doing it now. I think a lot of industries have about a 3-year, people try it, in 3 years they fade out. And I can tell you from what we're doing, we're still strong. You know, it's we're not losing those people, and we're still adding new people. So it's great.
What do you think the reason is behind that for archery?
I guess I couldn't pinpoint one thing specifically, but I don't know. I mean, archery is shooting itself just as a hobby. Not even talking the hunting side of it, just as a hobby. It can be very therapeutic. It can be very relaxing. I love it this time of year where, you get out of work at 5 o'clock, you get home, you've got half an hour, 45 minutes before it starts getting dark. You want to go do something, enjoy it, because it's kind of a nice night out, but now what? So you just shoot in your backyard for half an hour. You've got that outdoor, you're by yourself. It helps you, work away the day's stress. Like, there's just something very therapeutic about it. It's not a team sport. I mean, you can do it with all the friends you want, but in the end of the day, you're not scoring against them. You're just working to improve your skills. So it's a very, it just very much focuses on you and working on top of working some of your muscles and stuff too. So it's a good sport for all that.
Right. And then like shooting, where there seems to be, some noise involved with it. There's not a lot of noise.
Not a lot of noise. And in archery, your ammunition is all reusable. So
yeah.
Unless you miss by a lot. But other than that, everything's reusable. So it's just, there's not even, once you get set up, there's really not a lot of cost associated with it. You could shoot all night long and never spend a penny. So
right.
There's a lot to that for sure.
Yeah, because we mentioned you have seasoned professionals that come. You have people that are brand new to the sport. So I guess, a question for you would be, what are the top safety tips you would recommend for new and experienced archers?
So as far as the hunting side of it, I mean, to start with, you got to take your bow hunter safety course anyways to get your archery side. So that they cover so much safety stuff in there, which is great. We like to talk about tree stands. When you're in a tree stands, always strap in your tree stands. So like you want to be harnessed up in that tree. There's so many examples of people that are incidences across the years where people have gotten hurt falling out of tree stands. I personally end up, but it's a beautiful night and the sun's out and the leaves are going and the tree's swaying, and I end up taking a nap. So that's just the way it is. Like, you want to be strapped in for all that stuff. But I mean, that's one of the absolute biggest safety things when it comes to archery, for the hunting side of archery, is just make sure you strap yourself in on your tree stands. Always, like any shooting sport, be sure your target and, all of that stuff that keeps you kind of keeps you safe and keeps everybody out there safe. So
right. And at R&L Archery, you don't just sell bows and crossbows. Do you also sell like tree stand?
Yeah, we are a full line outdoor store. So we do absolutely have the tree stands. We have upgraded bow sights, arrow rests, anything for your bow that we can do. The tree stands, the game calls, the scent killers, and then we also do guns and ammunition, and we do fishing rods and kayaks. And so we just love to be outdoors. So we try to get all the gear to get you all set for whatever industry, whatever sport you're doing. And then when it's time to put that sport away, we got another sport. We can go do something else. So that's kind of the way we like to do it. The camo clothes and we're actually getting all our ice fishing stuff in right now. We're kind of not ready for it. I'm still wearing shorts today, but that's coming up too. Once bow season closes, we should be headed that way. And
so, we just mentioned tree stands. What are some of the safety precautions people need to do in order to properly set up a tree stand?
So when I do mine, I use a lot more ladder stands and ladder steps going up the trees instead of the screw-ins now. I feel like the spacing's even more on it, and it's you're not worried about different angles if you put one out of line or something. So safety going up and down the stand, especially since half the time we're doing it in the dark. As far as entering or exiting your stand. So that's always a big one. I strap the tree in. I always ratchet strap around the tree afterwards, just to make around the stand to make sure it stays. I know a lot of people now are getting into the hunting saddles. It's not something that I personally have gotten into. We look at it a little bit, and we sell a few of the saddles, but that it's another thing. You're up there, and you want to make sure you're secure anytime you're up in a tree. The climbing stands, make sure your bottoms and your tops have a little safety strap hooked to each other, because the last thing you want to do is be up there and have one section go down the tree without you. So, just strap everything in. Strap it to the tree. Strap yourself to the tree. That or the other side. As some of the hunting population gets older, and some of the younger side of it, ground blinds. Ground blinds are great. Not worried about climbing trees. You're out of the elements a little bit. Yeah. Those soft breezes don't necessarily go through the ground blind. You can do a little extra movement without the deer or the bear noticing you moving a little bit. So that's not a bad thing. And it keeps your feet on the ground, which for some of us is a really good way to go as well.
That's right. What saddles? Explain that one. I've never heard that before.
It is basically you're bringing like it's kind of like a small little hammock type of thing that you're climbing up the tree, and you're just hanging off it on a saddle on the side of the tree instead of bringing up the old aluminum platform. So a lot of people like it for the mobility of it, how lightweight it is, and how you could be in this tree today and that tree tomorrow. So there's a lot of push to go that way. I am run out of time when it comes to my hunting preparation, so I tend to do a lot of stuff early on in the year. I set up stands, I leave them out there all year, and that's kind of the way I do it. But the saddles have been probably the most, I don't want to say innovative, because we used to do them 20 years ago too. They've come back. They've kind of a resurgence there in the tree saddles.
Right. All right, we're going to take another quick break. And remember that later on we are going to have the Weekend Hunters Forecast from Mark Breen, which we're going to listen to. And then when we get back, we're going to talk about more of the things that R&L Archery has to offer.
It's the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
Your website isn't working for you. Hi, this is Jay Davis, co-founder of Northeast Kingdom Online. I'm sure you've seen us online already. We've created hundreds of websites for companies just like yours. If you're ready to stand out on the internet, it's time to join forces with Northeast Kingdom Online, Northern New England's premier website design company. From security to mobile responsiveness, we handle it all. Let's make your website as unique as your business. Visit us at northeastkingdomonline.com and let's get started. Achieve more with northeastkingdomonline.com.
Gateway Sports in downtown Wells River has you covered for all of those items that you need most for a successful hunt this fall. The store is fully stocked with an excellent selection of new and used long guns, handguns, muzzleloaders, shotguns, scopes, slings, swivels, ammunition, and accessories. They'll even offer some helpful advice. Stop in soon. Gateway Sports always has items that you might be interested in. Stop in and track down what you need for the Vermont and New Hampshire hunting season at Gateway Sports, Wells River.
And we are back. This is the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge, and we are talking to Chris Sanborn, who is the expert behind R&L Archery. He's joining us, and he's guiding us through Vermont's fall archery season and New Hampshire's fall archery season. We're covering everything from preparing for deer hunting to selecting the right gear. And as we said, whether you're a seasoned hunter or new to archery, this is packed with expert advice and insight. So, Chris, question about, say, R&L Archery and your customer support. How did R&L Archery become kind of like the go-to destination for Vermont hunters and archers?
We are very fortunate. We have a very loyal customer base. We have a great customer base, and we love to see you guys out there doing what you're doing. We like to help make it a reality for you. I always tell people I'm not a salesperson. I'm a tour guide. We'll help you guide your gear. We'll help you set it up. That's just, I don't know. We're just we want to work with you to make sure you're out there having a great experience. That is our goal. We love being outdoors. We love sharing our love for the outdoors with everybody else. We want to see you guys out there. And there's a lot of days when I can't be out there because I have to work. I'd rather you're out there doing what I can't. But it's I don't know. It's just something that we've always kind of had that attitude of let's see what we can do for our customer, get them out there, get them enjoying the best experience that they can, and they share what we know to help make that a little bit better. Everybody in the store hunts. Half the people in the store fish. Like all the products that you guys come in to buy to use, we use too.
Right.
There's a lot of expertise that comes just from more than anything else. I can tell you all day long about a package of an item on the wall, but I can tell you better after I've used it. I'm like, I don't really know, and then we don't sell that one anymore because it's not something that if we use it. So we see the goods, we see the bads, and it kind of gives us a good feeling for the way it is. So
right.
We want to sell things that are going to help make everybody successful at what they're doing. That keeps you in the industry, and it keeps us all going. So.
Right. You said you take the good, you take the bad. Isn't that like the Facts of Life theme song?
It could be. It could be. It's pretty much a fact of life. So.
And so what services do you offer at your shop that helps hunters prepare for the season?
We have an indoor archery range. And
cool.
our range, it's a 20-yard range. We do have paper tuning that we can do too to help tune a flight arrow as well. But with our indoor archery range, the big thing, especially this time of year, we don't charge to use it. I want you guys shooting. I want you in there practicing. You get a cold, rainy night like we've had the last few nights. You can't be in the stand. You need to come in and fine-tune something. We have that 20-yard indoor range. Come on in and shoot it and use it. You need some help adjusting the pins. We're there. We can help you do that. You just have a question on how something works on your bow, stop in, give us a call. We can answer those for you too. A lot of the questions we get as we get newer peoples into bows, and again crossbows, there's a lot of questions. I tell people with crossbows all the time, you pull it out, you use it, you're going to use it for the next 3 months, you're going to put it away for 9 months, then you're going to kind of forget how to use it because that cocking device is a little different on everyone. Bring it back into us at the beginning of the season. We'll go through it again. We'll show you how it works. I don't want you to get hurt trying to do this. I don't want you to break your bow doing it's going to take you 5 minutes, and when you leave, you'll know how to use your bow again and remember how that cocking system works. And it makes all the difference in the world. Just again, making sure you're doing it right. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want anything to get broken. We can fix bows. We're good at fixing bows. I don't want to fix a lot of bows, so we'll just skip that part and we'll just go right to the whole. Let's do this.
Right.
So
so how often do you see that happening in the year? Is it around August, September? People show up and shrug their shoulders with a broken bow and say, "Sorry, I thought I knew what I was doing."
There's
here.
a cycle, and back to shooting a regular bow, a compound bow, vertical bow. That is a hobby. So we see those guys starting in August. The bows come out, and we're doing arrows, and we're doing tuning, and we're changing things, and we're all getting going. And that goes right until like mid-September. And then mid-September, late September, we start, it's just a drastic shift, and all of a sudden we see the crossbows come out. And it's, again, a crossbow, like, you don't need to shoot it as much to be as good with it. So you can pull it out, shoot it one afternoon, and you're confident out to 40, 50 yards easy. So those people tend to take it out a little bit later. It doesn't need quite as much prep. And then the issues that we're going to run into, it's definitely hits crossbow season is a little bit later. Right now, now that we're a couple weeks into it, we have a lot of emergency repairs, or I'm getting ready to go hunt Ohio or whatever on a big trip and getting preps for that. So we do a lot with that with both vertical bow and crossbow. But a lot of the stuff that we're getting right now involves a lot of crossbows, and a fair amount it happens when you're trying to discharge the bow at the end of the night. It's cold, it's dark, arrows aren't loaded quite right. Maybe you drop it out of a tree. We've had people do that. Crossbows get bigger when you shoot them. Always remember that, because people that shoot them out of blinds tends to bounce one of the limbs and wheels off the side of the blind. Had a lot of people do that, but like those are all the things that the hunting problems that we run into that we're starting to see now. That everybody's still out there. We're using them. We're having a good time, and oops, something went wrong. So we get that fixed up, and back out the door we go.
Is there like a memorable story you can think of where somebody showed up with a bow? So like, how did you do this? Every year there's something, and it's amazing. It is amazing. I told a customer's, I called a customer today, tell him his bow was done. His wife answered the phone and said his bow's done, and she thanked me for trying to teach him, but told me I had a long road. And I told her, I said, look, I'm gonna give him kudos for his persistence. And she thought I meant in learning, but it was more like he was trying to cock the bow and he didn't stop, and he kept going to the point that it broke plastic sleds and metal bearings and gears. And I'm like, at some point when it's that hard to turn the handle, give him credit for persistence. It's good. But there's all kinds of things, and it's never really one thing. There's a whole bunch of them. But almost guaranteed, whatever you've done to break your bow, we've seen it. So there's very, very seldom does somebody come in with one. I'm like, never seen that before. And so you're year-round business. So talk to us. How does R&L Archery support the hunting community year-round?
We do a ton of donations for the groups, like the Ducks Unlimited. We were just involved in one of their banquets in Central Vermont. National Turkey Federation. We donate to all the fishing derbies, and it's countless. I can't even tell you the number of organizations that donations to their banquets, plus firearms transfers for all these guys that are doing the auctions, the raffles, and things like that. There's always something going on, which is one of the great things. Hunting in Vermont is a fall thing for the most part. But all winter long is the banquets and the gun shows and then the clubs are all doing their things. Like, there's always something. That was another thing. We work with some of the local ranges. We sponsored shoots at Whistling Arrow Archery Club. We sponsor shoots at the Randolph Fish and Game Club. There's always something going on, and we like to be involved in all of it. It is the bread and butter of what we do. So. Again, back to making sure everybody has a great experience. They have places to do this, and it keeps you guys involved, which keeps us going. So we all kind of work together to keep our industry and our sports going strong.
Perfect. All right, we're going to take another quick break. And remember, later on, we will be hearing Mark Breen's Weekend Hunters Forecast specifically for this show. And when we get back, we'll also be talking about some hunting trends that Chris will talk to us about.
It's a St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
At Red Clover Bikes in Fairleigh, Vermont, We know that a bike is more than just a ride. It's an extension of who you are. With financing available on top-tier Trek bicycles, e-bikes, and a team that's all about making biking accessible and fun, we help you make the most of the roads and the trails that make this little spot of heaven special. Whether you're looking to enhance your bike's performance or need expert advice on the latest cycling gear, we've got you covered. So come visit us in Fairleigh at Red Clover Bikes, where your adventure begins.
At R&L Archery, we know it's not just about the thrill of the hunt or the size of the fish. It's about the moments that matter most, the traditions passed down from one generation to the next, and the stories told by the fire long after the sun is set. It's about the journey, the memories, and the time spent together with friends and family, because these are the moments that truly last a lifetime. R&L Archery, where every adventure begins. Come create your story.
The Autosaver Group's St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram asks, do your outdoor adventures take you to where you wish you had a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive? At St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, explore their vast inventory of adventure-savvy four-wheel drives and all-wheel drive vehicles, ready for you to drive at home. Plus, every St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram deal includes the Big Deal Plus, which is a 2-year unlimited scheduled maintenance plan, which includes free state inspections for life. Stop in today in St. Johnsbury, Vermont, or shop St. Johnsbury Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram online at stjohnsburycdjr.com.
From the Fairbanks Museum in St. Johnsbury, the forecast for this evening: clear skies, remaining clear overnight with areas of valley fog, lows in the mid to upper 20s. Friday, some morning fog, then mostly sunny, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s, winds becoming north around 5 miles an hour. And for the day on Saturday, mostly sunny after any early fog, highs in the mid 60s, northwest winds around 5 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Lawrence Hayes for WYKR.
And we are back. You're listening to the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge. This is your source for adventures in Vermont and New Hampshire. I am your host, Josh Smith. And today, as I said, we are excited to have with us Chris Sanborn, who is the expert behind R&L Archery. He's joining us, and we've been talking all things archery this hour. And so, Chris, questions for you is... So we kind of mentioned it earlier, but how did the COVID pandemic affect hunting and archery industries in Vermont?
COVID definitely brought people in. We were all looking for something to do. It was the perfect time to get into whatever that hobby was you've been thinking about and just hadn't gotten there yet. COVID was amazing. It was amazing for the archery industry. It got so many people in it. These days, we still see, there will probably never be another year like the COVID year in our industry. But then the year after was still really good, and the year after that was still really good. And, things are starting to return closer to normal, but we still, the number of people that got into it and are sticking with it is just amazing. What we're seeing, the numbers we're seeing, everything is still... it's still up there. We're still way higher than we were in 2019. And you got to say COVID's got a lot to do with that, not just in 2020.
Right. And so what are some of the biggest challenges you think hunters are going to face during Vermont's fall archery season?
The big one, there's a couple of them. The easy one right now is for a lot of people is the availability of places to go. We're fighting posted land. I remind a lot of my customers, posted doesn't always mean posted. Sometimes it means knock on a door, go ask permission. And it's amazing the people that will let you do that. They might tell you no, but there were posted signs and it was already a no. So you didn't lose anything by asking. But availability of land has always been a big challenge for that. So that's something I wish there was an easy fix besides buying your own preserve, but there's really not much we can do about that. Just try to be good stewards and work with the landowners.
Right. Are there any conservation issues you feel are important for hunters to be aware of this year?
One of the things as far as deer, when it comes to your hunting, it comes to your wildlife and habitat side of things. Habitat's always big. Natural habitats out there, berries and apples and things like that. We all know about that. But food plots in Vermont, you cannot feed the wildlife. You can't feed the deer. You can't bait the deer. You can create food plots. You can plant a 1/4 acre of clover or chicory or something like that. And what you're doing is you are providing a year-round 24/7 food source for the deer. So it is habitat, not baiting. You can hunt over it. A lot of my food plots, we don't hunt over them. We hunt on the way to them or the way from them, and kind of give them that as their safe little sanctuary. And they depending on what you plant, they move. You may for a little while not have the right food. You have the clover, and your neighbor's got the sweet peas, and they're over there. But then things shift, and the deer shift their patterns, and they always move. But habitat's always a thing. As far as a hunter, what you can do about that, well, plant a few seeds, a few bags of seed, and try to kind of boost the habitat you have there. Clear out around the wild apple trees. That helps bring some life back into them, get some sunshine. Maybe you'll get some more apples. The deer are coming in, and it's all habitat work.
Right. Because I know before, it was interesting is that I was talking about some of the technology that you have in bows and crossbows, and you can't have a laser scope.
Correct. You cannot cast a light on the game. And even though a red dot laser does not illuminate the game, it still casts a light on the game. So that is something you can't have. Interestingly enough, the other one that we get asked fairly regularly is thermal scopes. Thermal is okay, but infrared is not okay.
Really?
Because infrared, again, casts a light. We can't see it, but the game can. So you cannot, those big infrared enhancers that look like a flashlight and you can't see them when they're on, you can't use those either in Vermont because it is casting a light on the game, even though we can't see it.
Is that a Vermont specific rule? Can they do that in like New Hampshire and New York? Or
I'm not 100% sure on the other states, but I know we get asked that a lot here, so it's definitely a no-go here.
Right.
Some of the southern states, things like thermals and infrared, they use for a lot of pig hunts down south. So some of the states, and that is more of a nuisance hunting thing, so they try to encourage as much as they can. But up here, it's a whole different hunting environment. So.
And you mentioned before we went live that R&L Archery carries 4 licenses for four states?
Four states, yeah. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York. It's a lot of states for everyone to go hunt. But it came out of we're in central Vermont. We're pretty centrally located, but we have people from Chittenden County that want to hunt New Hampshire. It's a lot easier. I came over to hunt New Hampshire one year. This is how this came about. I came over to hunt. We got to the town. We were going to go do the hunting. I'm like, okay, I'll go get a license. We had to go 2 towns over, then go back to the hunting spot. I killed an hour of valuable hunting time because I needed to go get a license first, which is important. But at the end of the day, that's time I could have spent out in the woods. So then we do it here. So now our customers can we'll have customers that drive from here over to Barre to the shop to buy their Maine license before they then go back to Maine. I mean, it's driving away to get closer, but then when they get there, they can just go do their thing. So you're not looking for that hunting, that licensed agent up there.
Right. And what do you say, what do you see usually is a lot? I mean, other than Vermont, do you see more people buying another license?
It's really funny. Our customers love to hunt. So, especially when the seasons hit right, New Hampshire, when it comes to archery, New Hampshire opens first. So the anxious people all buy the New Hampshire bow tag, and September 15th, they're in New Hampshire. October 1st, they may come back to Vermont. They may stay in New Hampshire. You tag in Vermont, you tag out. Well, then you go to New Hampshire, and then, you get your Vermont buck. Then you go to New Hampshire to try to get your New Hampshire buck. And then in the right time of year, you bounce the border between New Hampshire and Maine. And when all that goes out the window, you head to New York. So, and that's just staying in New England. Our customers travel everywhere. So we see a lot of people going to Ohio still. Pennsylvania's getting popular now. Kentucky's starting to get to be a really popular destination. So, I said our customers just love to hunt. It's what we do in the fall.
So where do you go?
I go in Vermont because everybody wants me to fix their bows and make their arrows and sell the broadheads. So no, I don't actually do a lot of traveling in the fall. I actually did a trip a few years ago to Texas late season, and I went out to Idaho once in the beginning of the year. But for the most part, I stay pretty local. and try to keep everybody taken care of here. I did try a Maine bear hunt a couple of years ago. Turns out in the bait barrels, the bears and I eat the same thing. The barrels looked really good. It wasn't a successful hunter, but man, the food that smelled good. There's that.
And you did mention too of just like how cost effective archery is. Now, can people actually fletch their own arrows? Do people make their own arrows?
With the right tools, you can.
Okay.
There's not a lot of, I guess there's a lot of science that goes behind what type of feathers you put on your arrow, but to put a feather on an arrow is not a lot of science. It's just you need the right clamps, you need the right jigs, you need the right glues. When everything works, everything stays together. When things don't work, feathers fall off, arrows don't fly quite right, but that's part of the learning curve.
Right.
And when you're doing your own, you have however many colors and styles that you want to try, go for it. That is, it seems to be a thing that people are doing less and less of. We used to sell a lot of the jigs. We don't do so much anymore. We still refletch for people, but as far as fletching their own arrow, it seems to be something that's going away a little bit now, but 3 years from now, who knows? Could be a whole new resurgence in it.
So we're going to take another quick break, and when we get back, we're a little bit later, near the end of the hour, we will hear our weekend hunters forecast from Mark Breen, and we have a final question that we're going to ask Chris, and that question is going to be his predictions for archery hunting in the next few years.
Gateway Sports in downtown Wells River has you covered for all of those items that you need most for a successful hunt this fall. The store is fully stocked with an excellent selection of new and used long guns, handguns, muzzleloaders, shotguns, scopes, slings, swivels, ammunition, and accessories. They'll even offer some helpful advice. Stop in soon. Gateway Sports always has items that you might be interested in. Stop in and track down what you need for the Vermont and New Hampshire hunting season at Gateway Sports, Wells River.
This is Bob McGee from Wild Vermont Customs. From mud to snow, water to road, powered or pedaled, our custom fabrication shop can make it look great. With paint, hydro dip, powder coat, media blasting your restoration project, metal artwork, or your hunting trophies. Come see what we can do for you. Gabe, what can we do for the hunting trophies?
We can dip Euro skulls, make custom plaques or mounts.
Wild Vermont Customs, East Redgate, Vermont. On the web at wildvt.com.
Check out our Facebook page for pictures.
Miles Supply, your stop for all your general business products, paper towels, toilet paper, first aid kits, and more. Purchase your paper and soap products from Miles, and they'll install the dispensers for free. Do you own a salon, restaurant, coffee shop, or gym making a monthly run to the big box store for your business supplies? Save time with Miles Supply. Call today for a sales visit, 476-3963, or walk directly into their showroom, 143 Boynton Street next to Spalding High School. Miles Supply, family-owned and building relationships since 1954.
I'm Mark Breen with the Outdoor Edge forecast. After some chilly weather and some frost last night, snow over the higher elevations, a warming trend is on the way, along with quiet, sunny weather through early next week. High pressure to our west over the Ohio Valley will gradually build east and at the same time gradually warm, which means sunshine each day through Monday. It starts chilly in the evenings and early mornings, some frost again Friday morning, and even some spotty frost Saturday morning. In addition, expect some areas of locally dense river valley fog each morning, burning off by mid-morning. Winds should be light, mostly varying by terrain. For archery hunters, take note that by Sunday into early next week, afternoons are going to be quite warm, 60s to near 70. Now the forecast details. For Friday, areas of valley fog and scattered frost giving way to sunshine, milder, highs 55 to 60. Friday night, clear and cool, areas of river valley fog and some scattered frost, lows 30 to 35, a few cold pockets in the upper 20s. Saturday, areas of valley fog and scattered frost giving way to sunshine, warmer in the low to mid 60s. Saturday night, still clear and cool, patchy fog and some isolated frost in the 30s. And then Sunday, fog burns off to sunshine, continuing to warm up in the 60s. Sunday night, mostly clear, 30s and low 40s, and sunshine Monday, upper 60s to near 70. That's your Outdoor Edge forecast. I'm Fairbanks Museum meteorologist Mark Breen. Good luck and be safe.
And that was your weekend hunters forecast for Mark Breen. And so we were talking before. It's like, Chris, we do want to pick your brain on what you have some predictions here. And you heard that forecast.
That is a beautiful forecast.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You guys are going to be busy this weekend.
We are going to be busy. You know what? We're actually going to be really quiet in the evenings because everybody's going to be sitting out in a tree.
Yeah.
I love it. Can't wait. It also means for busy mornings as we check in a lot of deer for our at the weigh station. So.
Right. Yeah, because you guys are a reporting station.
We are a reporting station, yeah. And we post all our pictures and our reports on our website and on our Facebook page, too, because everybody loves to see those.
Right. And how has it been so far this year?
We're right on track with last year.
Okay.
I checked the midday today. We're just under 40 deer reported so far for the season. So we're pretty much on track. One big one already, 220 pounds. So that's going to be a hard one to beat all season. But,
okay.
It looks good.
Good. All right. So we got about a minute left. So Chris, what are your predictions on how archery hunting might evolve in the next few years?
I think based on the numbers we're seeing now, we're 30% of our deer are shot with a regular bow and the 70% with a crossbow. I think that number is going to continue to grow for crossbow as we keep getting more people into the sport. And I think bow hunting, it's got the potential to grow even more as we lose some lands for hunting. Maybe firearms hunting may not be quite such a thing anymore, and we need to rely on something a little more intimate, a little bit closer range, and something you're not going to have traveling bullets. We may see a whole bunch more in the archery world.
Really?
Of course, innovations. There'll be new products every year, so that keeps us coming back for more.
Yeah, the technology, like you said, it's amazing.
It never ends. There's always something. They're never going to fix this. They're never going to do anything better than this. Yep, they are.
Well, perfect. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and gained valuable insights. And I want to thank our guest, Chris Sanborn. Chris, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's a great time.
Yeah, and so be sure to catch our next episode where we continue exploring the great outdoors, from hunting and fishing to hiking and camping. And if you missed any part of today's show, or if you want to listen again, you can find us online at WYKR.com, and you can download the WYKR app. It's on iOS and Google Play. Until next time, this is Joshua Smith, and I'm turning up the music. Here we go. There we go. So reminding you all to stay safe, stay prepared, and enjoy everything that the Vermont and New Hampshire woods have to offer. See you on the next episode of the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams Outdoor Edge.